Hey, what's up, YouTube family? Hope you guys are having a great Friday evening. I got a little treat for you guys. So I want to read a chapter out of this book called Drugs as Weapons Against Us by John Potash. The CIA's murderous targeting of SDS, Panthers, Hendrix, Lennon, Cobain, Tupac, and other actors. We're going to read a chapter in this book in regards to Tupac's 1994 quad studio shooting. There's a lot of intricate details that go along with this shooting and the timing that took place of the shooting while Tupac was going to court for the sexual assault case. As you read this, we go into this chapter about the quad studio. The sexual assault case will also be involved in what we read as well. But you'll see how interesting it is as the sexual assault case was becoming to be known as a frame up. Basically, the details of the sexual assault case was coming out, and how the FBI was using informants to set Tupac up. And these things were being brought up in the trial. So it just so happened that as this was going on, Tupac would almost lose his life. So the timing of it is very interesting. It says to me, okay, we might not be able to jail him on what we want to jail him on. So since we can't do that, we got to kill him. So I don't want to continue to talk about nothing. I want to go ahead and get into this chapter and into a section of this chapter in regards to Tupac's life. And I promise you will not be disappointed. Great information. Let's get into it. The sophistication of attacks on Tupac Shakur continued to develop in proportion to his increasing wealth and fame. While Tupac was working on his third film, Above the Rim, with Woody Harrelson, a Haitian music promoter named Jacques Agnat, a.k.a. Ricardo Nigel Brown, befriended the rap star. In November 1993, 2 weeks after the Atlanta cops shot at Tupac, Agnat introduced Tupac to a woman named Ayanna Jackson in a New York dance club. She admitted in court to having unzipped Tupac's pants and kissed Tupac's penis in the middle of a crowded dance floor before having sex with him in his hotel. Several nights later, she stated she came back to Tupac's hotel room and had oral sex with him. But this time, Jackson accused Tupac, Agnat, and two other associates of forced sodomy and sexual abuse. She filed charges with police. Tupac Shakur's description of the night indicates that Jacques Agnat had set him up, Haitian Jack basically, perhaps by slipping a drug in his drink. Tupac said he was having drinks with his road manager, Agnat, and one of Agnat's associates when Agnat called to get Ayanna Jackson over to the hotel room. Tupac messed around with her in his room, and then Agnat came in with his associate. Tupac reported walked out of the room, going into another room before passing out. Tupac said that when he woke up, I felt like I was drugged. Jackson's associations against Shakur and Agnat included forced sodomy, assisting forced sodomy, and gun possession. Evidence accumulated to indicate U.S. intelligence set up the Ayanna Jackson incident. A U.S. intelligence memorandum regarding political musicians specifically addressed this tactic. It instructed agents to send in women and drugs, use free sex to entrap. Police also tampered with evidence, accidentally, quote-unquote, destroying tapes of Ayanna Jackson on Tupac's hotel voicemail that supported his defense of a consensual sexual experience. Other evidence indicated Jacques Agnat worked for U.S. intelligence. A policeman's benevolent association lawyer bailed Haitian Jack out of jail and represented him in court. Tupac's trial lawyer, Michael Tarif Warren, acquired Agnat's rap sheet, which showed a long list of major charges up and down the East Coast, all dismissed, which Warren said was a sure sign that Agnat was a police agent. We're talking about Haitian Jack. Warren also said that Agnat successfully had his case severed from Tupac's, which the attorney said was highly unusual. Toward the end of Tupac's trial, the case was looking so bad for the prosecution, they said they'll be willing to accept the mistrial for having withheld evidence. Photographs of Ayan Jackson at the hotel scene. Tupac rejected the offer, wanting to clear his name. To prevent Tupac from continuing his meteoric career trajectory, police intelligence apparently tried another plan. While the jury was still out at the end of November 1994, an associate of Jacques Ignace, Jimmy Henchman Roseman, aka Booker, called Tupac. Roseman said he'd give him $3,000 to record a song with another rapper. Wary of Roseman because of Haitian Jack, Tupac said he'd only come for $7,000. Roseman complied, and Tupac came to the New York recording studio in Times Square. In an interview for Vibe magazine, Tupac detailed, "I felt nervous because this guy knew somebody I had major beef with. Nigel Agnat, basically Haitian Jack, had introduced me to Booker. Everybody knew I was short on money. All my shows were being canceled. This was reportedly due to police groups calling concert venues and saying they would not provide security to Tupac's shows being a riot risk. But Tupac suffered through many legal charges as well as many lawsuits, leading him to say, all my money from my records was going to lawyers. All the movie money was going to my family, so I was rapping for guys and getting paid." Tupac had always avoided hard drugs, a reaction to his mother's addiction. However, perhaps not realizing that the genetics of addiction could predispose him to cannabis dependence, Tupac developed a marijuana habit. He said that he was smoking chronic, strong marijuana daily. Tupac reported that when he walked up to the studio, a 30-something-year-old black man was hanging out in army fatigues and didn't acknowledge him. Tupac later said he was too stoned to realize how suspicious that was, since black men in that age group usually recognize and acknowledge him due to his film and music fame. Inside the building, that man and another who had been waiting indoors shot Tupac once to put him on the ground, then twice in the skull. According to the doctor's affidavit, amazingly, though Tupac was seriously wounded, he survived. Tupac's plan to clear his name became more complicated as mainstream media twisted the facts of the incident to state that the shooters were only mugging Tupac, and Tupac reached for his gun to shoot them. A security camera pointed at the lobby doors for buzzing people in had a videotape, which police didn't confiscate. Instead, they abruptly halted the investigation. Years later, Dexter Isaac signed a letter saying, James Roseman hired me to rob Tupac Shakur at the Quad Studio. He gave me $2,500 plus all the jewelry I took, which amounted to tens of thousands of dollars. Either Isaac or the gunman with Isaac had a more serious mission of killing Tupac, seemingly for U.S. intelligence. Government documents show Roseman had been charged with the crime in 1994, before Tupac's shooting. Roseman met with U.S. prosecutors as an apparent informant from that time until at least June of 1998. Documents included an agreement that Roseman's ongoing statements to the district attorney and U.S. state's attorney would not be used against him regarding the 1994 criminal case, the prosecution of which was put on indefinite hold. It would not be surprising to learn the FBI used the 1994 criminal case against James Roseman to turn him into an informant, collaborating agent. The FBI had a pattern of doing this. Noted FBI researchers Warren Churchill and Jim Vanderwall described this scenario. The FBI approached FBI infiltrator William O'Neill just after he was arrested twice for car theft. Apparently in exchange for a monthly stipend and the dropping of these charges, O'Neill agreed to infiltrate the Chicago Black Panther Party as a counterintelligence operative. By 2011, James Roseman was indicted for trafficking numerous kilos of cocaine. A Village Voice article claimed a jury convicted Roseman of trafficking thousands of kilos of drugs and dirty cash between Los Angeles and New York. The article further stated that the prosecutors proved that these shipments included machine guns and were in music crates to recording studios and record labels owned by or affiliated with Vivendi's Universal Music Group, the largest music corporation in the world. The article further reported that Roseman admitted his part in the assault on Tupac at the Quad studio, and a cooperation deal that might lead to a reduced sentence, according to federal prosecutors. Roseman wouldn't do time for that crime, as in New York, the statute of limitations on robbery is 7 years, which means that the time to prosecute anyone for the Quad case expired 11 years ago. U.S. intelligence appeared to give up on Roseman as he received a long jail sentence for the trafficking. On December 1st, 1994, the day after the Quad shooting, a jury found Tupac innocent on all charges, including forced sodomy and assisting forced sodomy. They only found him guilty of touching Jackson's butt against her will and assisting suspected police agent Jacques Agnant of doing the same. For that offense, Tupac received a sentence of 1 to 4 years in jail. For virtually the same charges, Agnant's indictment was dismissed and he pled guilty to 2 misdemeanors, the equivalent of reckless driving and a public intoxication charge. So, he was indeed a police informant. Tupac had been hospitalized for his shooting wounds, recovered, and then began serving his sentence. Tupac started serving time on Rikers Island, New York City's central jail complex. While there, Interscope released his next CD, Me Against the World, and it topped the pop charts for 2 weeks. This coincided with the time President Bill Clinton ordered the bombing of Bosnia. Reporters interviewed Tupac in jail about his chart-topping success, and Tupac questioned the government's treatment of Cuba and bombing of other countries while people go hungry on American streets. Tupac admitted that after developing a daily marijuana habit before prison, it was hard to stop abruptly. My brain was half dead from smoking so much weed, drinking, going to clubs, just being numb, he said. Tupac vowed to quit smoking marijuana. From Rikers, prison officials shipped Tupac 9 hours north to the maximum security Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora, New York. There, guards subjected Tupac to the full gamut of penal coercion tactics. These are tactics identified by Amnesty International as designed for manipulating political prisoners. Prison guards conducted rectal exams on Tupac every time someone visited him, saying they were searching for contraband, despite that they watched each visit. They also kept him in solitary confinement during 10 of his 11 months in prison. An American Civil Liberty Union report stated that the purpose of these tactics was to reduce prisoners to a state of psychological incompetence sufficient to neutralize them. These tactics aided U.S. intelligence's next possible goals for Tupac. They apparently decided to manipulate Tupac and use him to both target the rap community and to influence his fans in several negative ways. These included using Tupac's gangsta facade to promote gang behaviors, manufacturing an East Coast versus West Coast rap war, and promoting marijuana use. Evidence suggests that the media assets and intelligence agents were deployed to help set up the East Coast versus West Coast rap war between Tupac and his rap star friend Biggie Smalls. An intelligence document discussing how to target political musicians stated, provoke target groups into rivalries that may result in death. FBI documents and former Panthers detailed how the FBI used similar tactics to set up the New York-based Black Panthers that include his mother, Afeni Shakur, and California-based Panther co-founder Huey Newton. It appears U.S. intelligence also wanted Tupac to sign with Death Row Records, a new rap label that evidence suggests was a U.S. intelligence front company. In line with Time Inc.'s extensive history of work with the CIA, Time Warner gave Death Row a substantial amount of startup money. Tupac's case was being appealed and bail was set at $3 million. Normally, only 10% of bail is necessary to secure a bail bond and release from imprisonment. While the Court of Appeals would not accept Tupac's offer of 45% of the bail money, the court immediately accepted a similar offer from Death Row within days of Tupac signing them, releasing Tupac from jail while the appeal case was ongoing. Yo, I just relearned a lot of stuff because I read this book front to back plenty of times. But every time I read this book, I learn something new. just think about how much these record companies, how much power they wield in the courts. Tupac couldn't get bailed out because he needed an appeal. Right after Tupac signed to Death Row Records, which was owned by Interscope, which Time Warner owned, he was able to get an appeal. Just magically, he was able to get an appeal right after he signed to Death Row. So that just goes to show you, man, these music labels, they're pretty much cartels, and they hold a lot of weight in the judicial system. So I hope you guys enjoyed that information. I just wanted to drop that off to you. It's Friday night. I wanted to give you something hot. So I hope you guys have a great Friday night. It's your favorite black guy from Nebraska. Yes, there's black people in Nebraska. I'll see you on the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm out.